Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What's the biggest adjustment you think you needed to make from after what happened last year to going into camp this year for your unit?
The adjustments? I think the main thing for us is just our return game, focusing on that. I think the big thing that showed up was penalties, so we've made a big emphasis of, how we place our hands, how we got to finish with our feet. So we want to be better in the penalty aspect of it, and I think that's going to have a huge, a huge impact on our return game, because we had some big returns that get called back, and those end up being huge yard losses. So I think it goes back to those fundamentals.
Personnel you had, or just how you were teaching it, or just a combination of things?
I think it's a combination of everything, and then it always starts with me and how we teach, how we stress, how we correct, and then we got to apply it.
So deal with the Cowboys. There's so much talk about Blue and Mafia, what they're doing at running back. Can you talk about the impact they need to make and how you're using them on special teams that they can make this possible?
It's huge. I think they both have to have an impact on special teams. They're different body types and the type of players and the positions that they'll play on special teams. So it's really how can they carve out that niche for us and produce. I think Blue is more, we trained him in both spots of being a PP, and he actually played a game of PP last year, but I think he has the ability to be a good gunner. He's also in the return game. We move Phil in some more interior positions where Blue would be more of an outside guy. But I think in their own way, it's more about being consistent and producing daily and just continuing to get better, because special teams is still new to both of them.
Well, Blue could be your returner, but you have Turpin, and so if his size, what other, outside of gunner, what else can he do to help you guys on first team?
Like I said, it could be punt return. There are certain spots on kickoff return he can do. You put two returners back there. And then really it's more matchups on if he was going to be in the front line of kickoff return. It's not that he can't do that. He's got pass protect also and block big guys that are rushing the quarterback too. So he has that ability. And then obviously gunner, and he has also played PP for us. So we're moving him to a few different spots to see where he can have the most success.
Nick Sorensen with ESPN. CJ was a guy who was around for a long time, pretty influential in your room. Who's kind of taken over that a little bit for you, or has anybody taken over that?
I think it's been by committee right now. I think we've got guys that are still really young, but that have done a lot of cool things for us, like a Flo and Brevin, Marist, even Shamar James did well last year as a rookie. I mean, and Marquise has been around, so we added PJ Locke, who's been in the league a while. So I think it's more by committee right now. I think CJ was kind of established as that guy, that's been the leader and been the old head. We've got a good mixture of guys that I think are sort of in that mid-20s age range to where they're, comfortable, but they're also bringing up the young guys, and the young guys could step up too. So it's kind of been by committee, and I think it's been cool to see them challenge each other.
Okay, it looked like Aubrey was working on a dirty kickoff. I don't know what you guys call it, like a knuckleball kind of thing. Is that something you guys want to add to his arsenal on the kickoff?
Yeah, I think it's something everyone kind of toys with.
Jump show with the Athletic. Jason Barham, the rookies kind of stood out on defense. What he brings on special teams.
Well, he's got everything that you would think would produce on special team sides, speed. He's aggressive. He's physical. So it's, again, for rookies, the biggest thing is it's totally different. Some of them didn't even do much special teams. If they did, it was usually early in their career. And punts different, punt returns different, kickoffs different, kickoff returns different. But how fast can he just apply it? So we try and make it as simple as possible so the guys can play fast and just be football players. Put him in a spot that he can just be himself and play fast and aggressive and make plays.
And then having a veteran punter like a Brian Anger, how does that help you in your job?
Yeah, it's been huge. I think I probably have the best group of specialists in the league. I've been fortunate. Same thing I felt last year with all three of them. It's incredible. They're really close. They're really smart, and they're pros, and they do everything that makes it a lot easier for me.
Nick Sham, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan. Putting together special teams in preseason is a special kind of, no pun intended, special kind of challenge. How much, when you start doing that next week, are you trying to get guys on the field, and how much are you doing it with a plan in mind for who you want to see when the season starts?
You're right. It does take a lot of planning. One, you got to see who's healthy, because you're doing a lot of practices. You get these joint practices. Some guys get banged up, so you want to be smart there. Some guys aren't playing. They may play more on offense or defense. So it's not just who plays, it's when they play too. We don't want to overload them in certain quarters or have them, not loose. It's kind of piecing it together, but you got to get guys reps so you can actually evaluate them. And that's what's been big on some of these days that we first get these pads on, that we try and create some competitive drills that we can evaluate and have a winner and loser, and then you get that with the joints. That's why I like that we have 2 joints this year, because it's a big opportunity that we can see our guys compete that adds reps that are like game reps. Thank you.
Nick Harris, 4-Star Telegram. With Caleb Downs, we've seen him do some work as PP. What have you seen from him and just the trust that he's picked up from you guys as a rookie?
Probably a lot of the same thing everybody says. He's picked it up really quick. He's catching punts too, because he's done that in college. He didn't have a whole lot of them, but he had 2 for touchdowns. He didn't do it his last year. So with all the young guys, we got to train these guys up to be ready. And he's been great. He's smart. He picks it up really quick, make the communications, runs the huddle well, and always gives great effort. So he's done everything we've asked for so far.
Hey Nick, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. As the special teams coordinator, you have a lot of curveballs coming your way. C.J. Goodwin retiring. You have the injury to Princeton fan, Elijah Clark. Thankfully, doesn't look like his is going to be serious. But you have all of this coming at you, plus guys like Ryan Flanoy. Maybe you don't have as much access to him nowadays because of his value. Just talk about the challenge of trying to piece that special teams unit together over the course of training camp and preseason, and what do those conversations look like from your standpoint going into the regular season?
It's a good question, because I love that part of it. That's the part to me that's exciting. I mean, you mentioned Flo, that happened last year too. I mean, he ends up starting and getting, a couple 100-yard games, I believe it was, where we couldn't use him as much. So that's why you got to train so many guys in different spots and continue to stress, being ready to go. Whether it's a practice squad guy, you can always access that information that you gained in preseason or in off season. You're just always training guys. You're always getting them potentially ready to go to 2 different spots. You just always got to think ahead, and that part is fun. It is a challenge, but that's part of the special teams, where someone all of a sudden becomes a starter. Now you don't have him, as available as much. I mean, it happened with Hunter when he had a lot more reps too, 1 or 2 games, to where we're just going to keep him on punt rather than being on 3 or 4 phases. So that's continuous. It is fun. It is a challenge, but that's our job, and that part is it's fun to do. I like it.